So, my friends, I am your host, Albar Khan. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another magnificent journey through history. Today we will take you to the fragrance of hope scattered in golden fields, to the dust of wars soaked in blood, and amidst those prayers, which turned an innocent girl into history's greatest warrior. Meet that girl, whose courage made kings bow and left enemies stunned. Today's story is about a brave girl who not only saved France, but also etched her name forever in the pages of history. Yes, we are talking about Joan of Arc, the girl who, hearing God's voice, picked up a sword and challenged her enemies. Come on, enough is enough! So, get ready, because today's show is sword, prayer, and drama. Yes, today's guest is Joan of Arc, France's lioness, the hot star of courage. Friends, today's story is about an ordinary peasant girl who dreamed, and her dreams came from the heavens. Angels said, "Rise, free France." And Joan of Arc, without Google Maps, with blisters on her feet, a sword in her hand, and fire in her heart, set out. Imagine, at 17, when we're searching for a phone cover, Joan of Arc was leading France's army, facing enemies. No Wi-Fi, no Instagram Live, just faith and passion. Joan of Arc defeated England's superpower so badly that their connection dropped in the battlefield. City after city, victories piled up, until even the French king said, "Thank you, sister. Otherwise, I'd have lost my throne binge-watching Netflix." But friends, politics won over war, and the heroine was tried for witchcraft. Without any Netflix drama, Joan of Arc was burned alive. Yes, live and without buffering. But after her death, the truth became clear to all. Joan of Arc remains France's national heroine today. A tale of faith, sacrifice, and courage that can never fade. So, my friends, I am your host, Albar Khan. In today's podcast, we've invited a girl who dreamed, heard prayers, and led armies. Yes, today with us is France's national heroine, the brand ambassador of bravery. None other than Joan of Arc. Joan G., first question. I've heard you had divine dreams in childhood. Were these dreams like a Netflix series or something else?
Bonjour, world, and my beloved France. How are you shining today? It's me, Joan of Arc, your sword-swinging, faith-fueled lioness. From the fields of Domremy to the battlegrounds of Orléans, I carried God's fire in my heart and a flag that made enemies run faster than a TikTok trend. So how's my world doing? Ready to ignite some courage and chase your dreams? Or are you still sipping tea like the English at Orléans? Let's make history again. France, you with me? Not Netflix, but yes, those dreams were in HD quality. A dream would come from God, like a WhatsApp status. Joan, save France, or your story won't make it to the History Channel. So, I thought, all right, let's start the action.
Joan G., you were a village girl, and suddenly you became the leader of France's army. What was this scene? At 17, people are eating candy. Why were you picking up swords?
Oh, brother, it's all God's grace. I was just tending to my goats when a voice came from the sky. Joan, go save France. I thought, wow, this is the biggest call ever. But then I grabbed a sword and set out. After that, neither chips nor Ludo seemed appealing.
I've heard you wore men's clothes to lead the army. Was this a fashion statement or a strategy?
Both. Look, fighting in a skirt is tough, especially when you have to mount a horse. And anyway, I thought if the enemy thinks I'm a guy, they might get a bit scared. And yes, my look became a trend.
Joan G., your army was fighting under your leadership. But did any soldiers ever say, "What does this girl know about war?" How did you shut them up?
Oh, the soldiers were laughing at first like, "This girl is our leader?" But when I swung my sword, drove the enemies away, and won the Battle of Orléans, their mouths were locked shut. I said, brothers, now stay quiet and eat kebabs.
Joan G., one thing about your story is famous. You never shed blood or killed anyone. What was this strategy?
Look, my goal was to win the war, not to make rivers of blood flow. I carried a sword, but my real strength was my faith and my army's zeal. The enemy would run just seeing us. It wasn't a strategy, it was my heart saying, victory comes from hope, not swords.
You gave the English a thrashing in the Battle of Orléans. Was there a special tactic, or was your passion enough?
Tactic? Oh, my passion was my superpower. I'd tell the army, brothers, if we win, we'll cook kebabs tonight. And to the enemy I'd shout, you have tea time in London. Here, it's sword time. And the enemy would run.
Joan G., you faced a lot of criticism for wearing men's clothes. How did you handle it?
Oh, criticism happens in every era. People said, Joan, you're a girl, wear a skirt. I said, brother, how do I ride a horse in a skirt? And anyway, my look became the streetwear of the 15th century.
Joan G., you wore men's clothes. Would you prefer jeans and a t-shirt in today's era?
Yes. But the caption would be, "This isn't a dress code, it's a Defend France code."
Joan G., you were a village girl, then suddenly you picked up a sword. Did your mother ever say, "Daughter, leave the war, come home and make roti"?
Al-Barbai. Mom used to say, "Joan, drop this swordplay, let's cook Dal." But I said, "Mom, if I save France, I'll feed everyone kebabs." Then Mom prayed for me and I went after the enemies.
Joan G., when you wore men's clothes, did some soldiers say, "Who's this guy?" Or did everyone know you were the lioness?
Oh, some soldiers were confused, like, "How's this guy so brave?" But when I mounted my horse and shouted, "Move forward with God's help," everyone knew it was Joan, not some John By. And yes, my look became a trend in the army.
Joan G., if WhatsApp existed in your time, what message would you send to the enemies? Something like, "Come, let's fight."
Ha 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 ha. I'd ping the enemies on WhatsApp. "London folks ready? Sword time starts." And in the group chat, I'd tell the army, "Brothers, pray, cook kebabs, and chase the enemy." Their scene would be done.
Joan G., you defeated the English in Orleans. Did you ever party with the army after a victory? Any drums or just prayers?
Party? Oh, we had a campfire after the win, prayed together, and the soldiers said, "Joan, when's the kebab?" I said, "Be patient. Let's conquer one more city first." But in my heart, the drums were playing.
Under your leadership, France won big, but then you were captured for treason. Did you feel someone was conspiring against you?
Conspiracy? Oh, it was a full political drama series. Some people couldn't digest my courage. They thought, "How's this girl so brave?" But I said, "Conspire all you want. My story will always trend."
You took command without any military course. Did you have any training, or was your heart just big?
Training? I had faith in my heart, a plan in my mind, and prayers in my pocket. The army mocked me at first. Then, under my leadership, they raced against the enemies.
Joan G., when you charged into enemy armies, didn't you ever feel fear in your heart?
Fear? Only of God. To everyone else, I'd smile and say, "Come closer, then we'll talk."
I've heard you carried a special white flag in battles. Was it a flag or some selfie stick?
Haha, it was a flag, brother, not a selfie stick. It said, "With God's blessing, victory is ours." And when the enemy saw it, they'd tremble and then run.
You wore boys' clothes in battles. What did people say back then?
They said all sorts of things, but I said, "Clothes protect honor, not fashion." And when my sword gleamed, everyone forgot about fashion.
You got King Charles VII crowned, but he wasn't ready to listen to you. How did you convince him?
Joan of Arc. Oh, he was a confused uncle. I said, "King Sahib, either listen to me or I'll tell God you ignored my call." He agreed immediately. Then I took the army and won the Battle of Orleans.
So, when you got the French prince crowned, what thanks did you get?
Joan of Arc. Thanks? Oh yes, a little political betrayal for free. Friends betrayed me, enemies captured me, and the court, with amazing advocacy, turned me into a witch.
When the court accused you of witchcraft, what was going through your heart?
My heart was saying, they've lost themselves and now they're blaming me. I thought, truth has power, not shouting.
And then you were burned in the fire. Your heart must have broken, right?
My heart? My whole body burned, but my courage, my story, hasn't burned to this day. My dreams still live in the soil of France.
Did it ever feel like your life was a movie? You as the heroine and the whole world as villains?
Oh yes. The only difference was that my film's director was in the heavens, and the scenes were shot without a script.
In your opinion, which was the biggest battle? On the battlefield?
The biggest battle is always with your fear. On the battlefield, the enemy is visible. But the war in your heart is the most secret and the toughest.
Ever think your story would be read centuries later?
I only thought about fighting for the truth. The story was written by God. I was just playing the character.
But Joan G., the enemies captured you, and then that fire scene. What was going through your mind at that moment?
Look, that moment wasn't easy. But I thought if my faith is strong, fire or anything else can't stop me. And anyway, I left such a mark on history that people are still amazed hearing my story.
If you were here today, what would you do? Make sword fighting trends on TikTok or some other plan?
A picture with a sword and the caption, "Fight for the truth." Likes will come on their own. I'd go viral on TikTok with faith and sword, and maybe become a motivational speaker, because if I could save France in the 15th century, anything's possible today. My bio would be The Color of Faith, The Battle with a Sword, France's Heroine, TikTok's Queen, and yes, my reels with sword dances would go viral.
Joan G., your story has inspired many, but who inspired you? Did you have a role model?
Role model? Just God and his voice. But if there was anyone else, maybe my village auntie who gave everyone instructions at home. I thought, if she can run a household, why can't I run France?
Your life is a lesson. If you could give one piece of advice to today's youth, what would it be?
Listen to your heart's voice, whether it's God's or your inner courage. People will say 1,000 things, but just do your work. And yes, if you pick up a sword, practice first.
29. Host. In your opinion, which was the biggest battle? On the battlefield or in your heart?
The biggest battle was between my heart and the world. Swinging a sword on the battlefield is easy. On the battlefield, the enemy is in front of you. But in life, the enemy sometimes comes as a friend, sometimes in the name of justice. But keeping hope alive in your heart, when everyone calls you mad, a witch or a rebel, that's where real courage is needed, where even your own people test you.
Joan G., if you were in today's era and a social media troll called you a witch, what would you reply?
I'd tag the troll and write, "Not a witch, a warrior. Shut your keyboard or I'll show you a live demo of my sword."
Joan G., you crowned the king, but did you ever think, all right, let me sit on the throne myself?
Sitting on the throne? That was a confusing job anyway. I thought, Joan, just save France and go home to drink tea with the goats. My heart followed God's voice, not the shine of a crown.
Joan G., you faced so many hardships in life, but you always kept smiling. What was the secret of your smile?
The secret of my smile? When faith is in your heart, even fire feels cool. And anyway, smiling made the enemies even more nervous.
Joan G., if a film director today said they'd make a blockbuster on your story, which actor would you let play your role?
Tough question. Maybe an actress who knows how to wield a sword and talks about faith. Or I'd say, Director Sahib, just animate me, because my story is already a super hit.
Joan G., you achieved so much at such a young age. Did you ever lie awake at night thinking, oh, I have to fight another war tomorrow?
Sleep? That was my best friend. At night, I'd pray, clean my sword, and sleep. And anyway, good sleep before a battle was my secret vitamin.
Joan G., your white flag was a nightmare for enemies. Did you ever think of putting a cool logo on it, like Joan the Lioness?
A logo? My flag was already a viral trend in the 15th century. But if it was today, I'd write, Joan the Lioness, from faith to victory.
Joan G., at 17, you were commanding the army. Did the soldiers ever tease you, calling you kid? How did you handle it?
Oh, some soldiers teased, what will this kid fight? But when I swung my sword and chased the enemies, they went quiet. I said, I'm a kid, but my sword is big. Then they started calling me Joan Baji.
Joan G., if you made a gaming YouTube channel today, what would your gaming name be?
My gaming name would be Sword of Faith 1431, and my live stream slogan would be Faith on, Sword on. I'd thrash enemies in the virtual battlefield and tell subscribers, like or my flag will wave in your game.
Joan G., when the court called you a witch, didn't you feel like challenging them? All right, shall I show you some magic?
I thought, let me swing my sword and get rid of their mental magic. But I just smiled and said, not a witch, and anyway, my courage left them spellbound.
Joan G., you chased enemies in the battlefield, but did you ever think of doing peace talks instead, like Zoom meetings today?
Zoom meeting? Oh, I'd send the enemies a link, 6 p.m. swords off, but they'd keep their video off and run. I thought, forget peace talks, battlefield talk is better, and the sword sealed the deal.
Joan G., your white flag was famous. If you remade it today, what meme or emoji would you put on it?
Ha ha ha, my flag would be a Twitter trend, a big emoji, and below it I'd write, Faith always goes viral. The enemy would retweet it themselves and run, because my meme game would be strong.
Joan G., if food delivery apps existed in your time, what would you order during a battle? Biryani or something else?
Oh, in the middle of a battle, I'd order a big biryani platter for the army. I'd tell the delivery boy, hurry, the enemy's running. And yes, I'd ask for extra raita, because you need some coolness after winning a war.
Joan G., you crowned the French king. If someone gave you a thank you gift today, what would you ask for? A new horse or something high-tech?
Thank you gift? I'd say, King Sahib, a high-speed horse 2.0 that chases enemies itself, or a smart sword that sharpens itself, but honestly, I'd just ask for a day off, because being a heroine isn't easy.
Joan G, your story has action, drama, everything. If you made a meme page today, what would you name it?
My meme page would be Joan D. Jang. Daily new memes. When the enemy runs, wave the flag, or sharp sword, wise faith. I'd tell followers, like or my army will invade your comment section.
Joan G, when you led the army, did the soldiers ever ask for a headquarters music playlist? What would your battle theme song be?
Oh, the soldiers would say, Joan, play a tune. I'd sing my theme song on horseback, move forward with faith, push the enemy back. If it was today, I'd make a DJ remix, Joan the Warrior, Sword Edition. The enemy would dance and run hearing it.
Joan G, you faced a lot of drama in court. If there was a reality show like Big Boss in your time, how would you win?
Big Boss? Oh, I'd tell everyone on day one, play with faith or deal with my sword. First in tasks, last in drama. In the finale, I'd wave my flag and win with public votes, because my fan base has been viral since the 15th century.
Joan G, if TikTok existed in your time, which video of yours would go viral?
I'd cut an apple with my sword. Caption, this is how I'll cut my enemies. Likes would come from all of France.
Did you ever use a filter during battles, like to scare the enemy?
Yes. My filter was white flag plus the gleam of fire. The enemy would run instead of taking selfies.
If there were delivery riders in your time, what would you order during a battle?
A big pizza, but I'd tell the delivery boy, deliver fast or I'll cut it with my sword.
Joan G, you saved France, but did you ever think, all right, let's open a restaurant now?
Joan's Warrior Biryani. Specialty, spices that digest enemies.
If Netflix existed in your time, which series would you watch?
Not The Crown, but The Throne. I saved it.
If there was an iPhone in your time, which app would you use the most?
Not Google Maps, but Divine GPS, with only one route, to the battlefield.
Joan G, did you ever eat something sweet during battles for energy?
Yes, like Jito Pak. I ate Jito Biryani. Tasted twice as good seeing the enemy.
If there was a stories trend in your time, what would you post?
A selfie in front of flames. Caption, these are my haters.
Joan G, did you ever try to block the enemy?
Yes, blocked them with my sword, and their connection was gone forever.
If there were TED Talks in your time, what would your topic be?
How to set your dreams on fire and write history.
Joan G, did you ever do a dance move during battles to scare enemies?
Yes. Sword dance, which made enemies' feet automatically do the running step.
If the concept of influencer existed in your time, what would your brand deal be?
Joan's Sword, 50% discount on enemies, i.e. 100% chased away.
Joan G, did your family ever stop you from becoming an influencer?
Mom said, daughter, learn to herd goats, not France. But I influenced anyway.
If there were memers in your time, what would your most famous meme be?
My flag plus caption, when you have no Wi-Fi but God sends you a message.
Joan G, did you ever eat a snack during battles?
No. My snack was the enemy's courage, which ran out quickly.
Joan G, did you ever follow trending topics?
My trend was number Joan the Warrior. It ran for centuries.
If there was an Apple Watch in your time, how would you use it?
Check heart rate. Went from 100 to 200 seeing the enemy.
Joan G, did you ever fight a battle eating fast food?
No, my fast food was chasing enemies fast.
If Twitter existed in your time, what would your most famous tweet be?
Joan of Arc. I'm the one saving France. And yeah, I did that too. Just Joan things.
Joan G, did you ever scare enemies with a selfie stick?
Joan of Arc. No, my selfie stick was my sword. It deleted them.
Joan G, did you ever level up on a war map?
Yes, reached level 100 when I crowned the king.
If there was a quiz show in your time, what would your specialty topic be?
How a girl saved France without Google Maps.
Joan G, did you ever track enemies with a drone?
No, my drone was Angels. They gave me live updates.
Joan G, if there was cryptocurrency in your time, what would your coin be called?
J-Cost. Value. One faith equals countless enemy defeats.
Did you ever take a power nap during battles?
Yes, a 5-minute nap on horseback, after which my energy notified the enemies.
If there was an IQ test in your time, what would your score be?
100% IQ plus 200% faith equals 300% victory.
If there was a travel influencer trend in your time, what would your post be?
Orléans trip, 5 battles, 3 victories, and 1 fiery experience. Blessed.
Joan G., did your horse have a social media account?
Yes. A warhorse 1431. Bio. I don't run, I make enemies run.
If Game of Thrones existed in your time, which house would you be?
House of Fire. Slogan. Fire is our friend, the enemy's enemy.
Joan G., did you ever use headphones for war music?
No, my headphones were angels shouting in my ear. Joan, move forward.
If there was a dating app in your time, what would your profile be?
Slinger single, sword with me, France my love. Swipe right only for the brave.
Joan G., did you ever participate in a fashion week?
Yes, my armor look trended. Men's suit, but a girl's heart.
If there was a virtual assistant in your time, what would you ask?
Okay, Google, where's the nearest English army? Tell me the shortest route.
Joan G., did you ever take a wartime selfie?
Yes, after a win. Caption, didn't kill enemies, just killed their mood.
If there was story time in your time, what would you tell?
A girl who went from goats to kings. And yes, she burned too.
Joan G., did you ever turn on dark mode?
Yes. When the court said, you're a witch, I said no, I'm in light mode.
If there was a travel blog in your time, what would your title be?
Rome, France, chase enemies, budget, just one sword.
Joan G., did you ever give the soldiers a pizza party?
No, I gave a victory party with enemies surrender included.
If there was a meditation app in your time, what would your meditation be?
Sitting in fire thinking, is it burning or am I?
Joan G., did you ever write a war journal?
Yes, chased 10 English today. Tomorrow's target, 20. Note, sharpened sword.
If there was a personal trainer in your time, what would your workout be?
Horse racing, noon, sword swinging, evening, making enemies, work out.
Joan G., did you ever troll the English?
Yes, wrote outside their camp. Run from here or I'll make your history.
If there was a fasting app in your time, what would your goal be?
1 enemy by day, 1 prayer by night.
Joan G., if you had to say one sentence today, what would it be?
I'm a girl, but not one to give up, and my story is bigger than the screen.
Joan G., what was the biggest spoiler of your life?
People said, you'll lose. But I wrote the final scene myself. Victory mine, history theirs.
Joan G., today we played a game of history, laughter, and courage with you that touched every heart. I'd love to hear your final message.
Look, friends, believe in your dreams or I'll wake you up from them. Whether the enemy is a troll or an Englishman, answer with a sword. And remember, those who write history never die. They just change their playlist.
Friends, that was Joan of Arc, a girl who shamed even fire. We'll meet another historical figure in the next episode. Maybe Napoleon's manhunting or Hulagu Khan's delivery problems. Read history, but don't be serious, because it's all just a viral story. Stories are born from ashes. Signs are hidden in tears. Remember, in the depth of every pain, history is weaving a new dream. Lamps burn in the darkness. Stories are made from wounds. Those who live for their truth write their names across centuries. She who shone even while burning in the fire became a story of loyalty. Her voice was not silenced by swords. It became the light of hope. This was the spectacle of history today. Tomorrow, we'll return with another ray of hope. Until then, laugh, learn, dream, because history is not just for reading, it's for feeling. Would you like to say something to your audience?
I am Joan of Arc. I kept my dreams alive in the fire of wars. And today, I'm giving you a mission. Subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. I swear I'll fill you with such passion that you'll feel as if I've set you on fire. So it's better. Subscribe quickly, or Joan of Arc's zeal won't let you sit in peace. Subscribe and become a soldier in my army. Move forward and become a part of history.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was Joan of Arc, a dream, a prayer, a rebellion, and a history. An ordinary girl who became extraordinary and left her footprints on history. Remember, sometimes the voice of the heart changes empires. From her, we learned that faith and courage can change the world's destiny. In the next episode, we'll meet another magnificent character. It could be Napoleon, Hulagu Khan, or maybe a unique surprise. Maybe a king, maybe a rebel, or maybe someone who became a hit without a mobile. Keep dreaming, keep fighting, and remember, those who stand firm on their truth live forever. Until then, your host bids you farewell. And remember, dreamers often write history.
Wait, I want to say it one more time. I am Joan of Arc. I faced fire for my faith, my courage, and my nation. I held the candle of truth and waved the flag of hope amidst enemy armies. Today, I say to you, if you want to win in life, first, be loyal to your dreams. And one first step is this: subscribe to my YouTube channel. Because here you'll find courage, you'll find passion, and that fire that will force you to change your destiny. Remember, fire is not just for burning, it's for spreading light. So come, join my caravan, so it's better. Subscribe quickly.
Good night, friends.